Hey man, one of the most powerful shifts you'll ever make as a man is when you stop handing out your attention like it's free. Because here's the truth, your attention is currency, your energy is investment, and if you're giving it to a woman daily without requiring anything in return, you're training her to treat it like it costs nothing. That's when she stops appreciating it. That's when she starts expecting it. And that's when you become the man she assumes will always be there, even when she's doing the bare minimum. But the high-value man, he flips that script. He doesn't demand her effort once. He makes her earn his attention every single day, because attention that is earned daily is attention that remains respected. And you can feel the difference in the energy it creates. When she knows your validation isn't automatic, she shows up with more care. When she realizes your time isn't guaranteed, she becomes more present. When she senses that your attention is conditional, not in a toxic way, but in a high-standard way, her feminine instincts activate. She starts investing, she starts thinking ahead, she starts giving more emotionally, physically, and mentally. Why? Because now she knows this man isn't reacting to me. He's watching me, measuring me, responding to my effort, not my potential. And that right there is where most men fall short. They give her attention based on how they feel about her, not how she's showing up today. But today matters. Consistency matters. A woman who put in effort last week but shows up cold and distant this week shouldn't be getting the same emotional reward. Because when you love a woman more than she's respecting you, you're betraying your frame. You're telling her, you don't have to do anything today. I'll still pour into you. And that's not love. That's emotional self-abandonment. To flip that dynamic, you begin with one rule. Your attention must match her current behavior. Not the version of her you're hoping for, not the version of her you miss, but the version in front of you right now. If she's present, warm, engaging, you match that energy. If she's distracted, distant, dismissive, you pull back. Not to play games, but to rebalance the exchange. Because every time you keep showing up fully while she's pulling away, you're rewarding the very behavior that's killing her desire for you. A woman doesn't lose attraction because you went cold. She loses attraction because you stop being a challenge. And attention, when it's freely given without being earned, removes that challenge. She starts assuming she's already won. She stops flirting. She stops initiating. She stops investing. Not because she doesn't care, but because she doesn't have to anymore. You're doing the work for both of you. And that imbalance is what erodes her respect, even when she doesn't know why. So when you pull back, when you make her earn it daily, you bring polarity back. That doesn't mean you act cold or detached. It means you act discerning. You observe more. You listen deeper. You respond with calm, not eagerness. You don't jump every time she calls. You don't cancel your plans when she becomes available last minute. You hold your rhythm. You hold your frame. And by doing so, you make her realize something powerful. Your energy is a reward. It's not a tool for validation. It's not an automatic response to her beauty. It's something she has to nurture, respect, and work to keep close. And let me be clear, this isn't about punishing her for being human. It's about leading the dynamic. When a woman feels you're leading with emotional standards, not just emotional availability, she becomes more feminine around you. She relaxes into her softness. She puts in effort not because you asked, but because your behavior makes her want to. She gets creative. She becomes more nurturing, more responsive. Not out of fear, but because you're showing her through your daily behavior that your attention is not a gift to be taken lightly. This also filters out the wrong ones quickly. When you make a woman earn your attention daily, low-effort women disqualify themselves fast. They stop texting, they stop engaging. Why? Because they're used to men who chase, who flood them with energy regardless of their behavior. And when you refuse to be that man, they leave themselves. You don't have to block. You don't have to argue. Your discipline does the talking. Your restraint becomes your boundary. And only the women who are truly aligned with your standards stay in your orbit. The beautiful part is, once you set this rhythm, it becomes second nature. You no longer overthink if you should text her first. You no longer stress about whether she's losing interest, because you've internalized the truth. You are the chooser. And choosers don't panic. They don't chase. They observe. They measure. They make decisions based on effort, not emotion. And when she feels that energy from you, that consistent calm, that unbothered masculinity, it doesn't push her away. It pulls her in. You don't say, "I'm making you earn this." You let your presence speak it. You let your silence deliver it. You don't announce your standards. You embody them. You show her that your attention is a reflection of her behavior, not just your feelings. And slowly, without saying a word, she gets the message. This man sees everything. He doesn't overextend. And if I want to keep feeling his presence, I have to keep showing up. And that's when she starts investing every day. Not because she has to, but because she wants to. When she begins to understand that your attention isn't based on her presence, but her effort, her mindset shifts. Suddenly, she's not thinking, "Will he text me?" She's thinking, "Did I show up for him in a way that deserves his attention today?" And that's a powerful pivot, because most women are used to coasting off of yesterday's charm. But you're not the man who runs on yesterday's interest. You're not giving out loyalty just because you've known her for a while. You're tuned into her current consistency. That's what makes your attention feel rare. It's not built on history, it's built on now. When you train her to earn your attention daily, she becomes more alive in the connection. It adds spark, polarity, playfulness. She starts putting on the outfit she knows you like. She starts sending that good morning text just to keep your energy engaged. She starts giving more during the day, not because she fears losing you, but because she feels the value of your attention. It's not a transaction, it's a respect exchange. She respects the fact that you have standards, and in return, she becomes more intentional, more feminine, more connected. That's the difference between being tolerated and being craved. This standard will feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to overgiving. You'll feel tempted to reach out, to fix the vibe, to explain yourself when things feel off. But the high-value man doesn't panic when there's space. He uses it. He lets that space work for him. He knows that a woman who's into him will fill the gap, that she'll lean in if she feels him pull back slightly, that if she wants to keep his attention, she'll show it. And if she doesn't, then he's glad he didn't keep feeding a fire that wasn't burning on both sides. Making her earn your attention daily also means you reward her effort properly. When she shows up fully, you're present. When she opens emotionally, you match it. When she pours into you, you pour back. But never first. You let her energy earn your attention. Because when you do that, you flip a deep part of feminine psychology. You turn her from receiver to pursuer. You trigger that part of her that wants to feel worthy of your presence. And when she feels that worthiness came from her effort, she doesn't just appreciate you, she fights to keep you. And it's not about being cold. You can be warm, charming, even romantic, but with restraint. You're affectionate when it feels aligned. You're responsive when her energy earns it. You're supportive, but never at the cost of your own rhythm. You're not emotionally stingy. You're emotionally intentional. And that intentionality makes everything feel more intense. When you compliment her, she feels it. When you show up, she cherishes it. Because now your energy has weight. It has boundaries. It has a pulse. She has to sync with, not control. You also start seeing women differently. When you make them earn your attention daily, you begin noticing who's actually consistent versus who's just charming at the start. You stop being seduced by the first 3 dates. You start watching how she behaves after the high fades, how she acts when you stop flooding her with praise. That's when you see her real level of investment. And brother, you'll be shocked at how many women only bring effort when it's easy. But the ones who sustain effort over time, those are the ones who deserve your loyalty, your focus, your protection. Women will test this shift, no doubt. Some will pull away, some will get moody, some will accuse you of being distant. But you don't flinch, you don't explain, you just let your actions speak. You let your calm energy communicate. If you want the full version of me, you have to meet the standard I set. Not once, but consistently. That silence becomes your strength. That space becomes your filter. And that consistency, that becomes your legacy. Because women remember the men who make them better. The ones who made them show up more feminine, more intentional, more aware. That's what sticks. Eventually, she starts leading the emotional connection. She starts checking in. She starts giving more without being asked. Not because she fears losing you, but because she finally understands men like you don't come around often. And when a woman realizes she's got a seat at the table but has to keep earning her spot, she treasures it. She works harder. She becomes more feminine. She becomes more present. Not from anxiety, but from admiration. Because now, You've become the standard she respects more than the comfort she once controlled. This is how you stop being the man who's constantly proving his worth and become the man who makes her earn yours. You don't demand effort, you just move based on it. You don't chase better behavior, you just give less to inconsistency. You're not here to be liked, you're here to be respected. And the man who leads with respect earns long-term desire, because attention that's free becomes boring. But attention that's earned daily, that becomes an obsession. So remember this, man, your attention isn't a gift you hand out freely. It's a reflection of your discipline, of your emotional standards, of your understanding that you are the prize. She doesn't get the best version of you for existing. She gets it when she invests, shows up, softens, aligns. Every day is a clean slate. She doesn't earn your attention once, she earns it daily. And when she realizes that, she doesn't run, she rises. Because now she's dealing with a man who doesn't give love for free, but gives it in full when it's earned through respect.